Want to give you a quick update on what's going to happen, or at least what we think is going to happen with this storm system, which has been real impressive in a bad way down in the southeastern United States. Hundreds of thousands without power because of the ice storm down there, and still seeing a lot of freezing rain in northern Georgia and most of South Carolina and North Carolina getting some snow now. And the center of low pressure is approaching the panhandle. Looks like a line of thunderstorms about to head for the west coast of Florida. This low pressure center will redevelop just east of the panhandle, east of Florida, and then move up to about Cape Hatteras, North Carolina by later on tonight. Eventually, this system is heading for just off of the Jersey Shore, then probably just south of Long Island, and then cutting either around the Cape Cod Canal or maybe just east of that as it heads up into the Gulf of Maine by early Friday. And a lot of snow going to be seen in the interior, northeast, and mid-Atlantic from this storm system. Southeastern New England, though, we are not anticipating a major snowstorm from this system, and we know that our forecast is slightly different than some others that are out there. That's been pointed out to us, that we're going with lower snowfall totals, and we feel that once this high pressure slides off to the east, the door is wide open to an easterly wind, which will bring in enough mild air. The big front end thump of snow that we saw with last week's storm, where it was basically 3 to 6 inches in Rhode Island, at least from Providence to the coast and in southeastern Massachusetts before any kind of changeover. We're not anticipating that this time around. We think that front end thump will be farther to our north and west. So New York City will probably get it. Connecticut will probably get it. We will see some snow. Now, we're not calling for no snow, but we're just calling for a lot less and potentially a quicker changeover. And believe me, if we could pin down exactly where when that changeover would take place in each location, we would definitely let you know. But it's just the science of meteorology hasn't advanced that far to let you know. So basically, the door is open to that milder air coming in. And there's a transition over to rain in all of Rhode Island, all of southeastern Massachusetts that'll happen probably by mid to late morning in the Providence area, maybe late morning, and then during the early to mid-afternoon as you get into northwestern Rhode Island. Boston, probably not going to see much snow from this. Same deal with all of eastern Massachusetts. There's your heavier snow showing up. So Hartford's right on the edge. Worcester likely to pick up some pretty good snow from this. And then farther inland, this will be a big snow producer up in northern New England as well. You see that milder air coming in. So it's a cold rain tomorrow afternoon and evening. And then we'll watch for a little bit of wraparound to take place. You see all that snow showing up Pennsylvania back down through the mid-Atlantic. But we may just catch the very tail end of that coming through Rhode Island as we get more dry air than anything else coming in late Thursday night and early Friday. And the heavier snow ends up to our north and to our west, or north and west of Rhode Island, up into western Massachusetts and up into northern New England, parts of western Connecticut, and we just kind of get whipped with some snow showers on the backside. And that's about what we're thinking right now. So in terms of the start time, we're looking at around 7 o'clock in the morning, but it may not get going for a couple of hours. And it would be a very quick changeover, we think, to ice pellets and then probably rain in coastal southeastern Massachusetts and right along the Rhode Island south coast. Providence area, and really for most of Rhode Island except for outside of 295. We're anticipating 1 to 3 inches of snow. Most likely that the 1 inch of snow would occur closer to the coastline and the 3 inches farther inland if it was a 1 to 3 inch range. But it could be a situation where there's a couple of inches in most spots, maybe 3 as you get up to around Pawtucket. So it does take some time for 3 inches of snow to accumulate. So it's not like we're anticipating no snow happening from this storm. There could be, say, 5 hours of snow that happens and allows for 3 inches of it to accumulate, and then it changes over to rain. Again, 3 to 6 inches northwestern Rhode Island. You don't have to go too far to get into the hefty totals, 6 to 10, and then the jackpot likely in the Berkshires with some heavy snow during the day tomorrow, and then again tomorrow night and up into northern New England. Might even have to expand that heavy snow farther west into Vermont. So that's definitely some good news for the ski resorts of northern New England. Maine will get hit hard as well from this. Might even be blizzard conditions in the coast of Maine on early Friday morning as the storm gets wound up. So these are your final snowfall totals, by the way. This includes, so you get a couple of inches, then of course some of it gets washed away by the rain, and then you could pick up another dusting to an inch late Thursday night night, early Friday in most of Rhode Island as the backlash comes through. As far as wind is concerned, when we look at the impacts here, strongest wind gusts likely in eastern Massachusetts, probably up to about 55 miles per hour. Again, all kinds of precipitation types with this. And in general, in Rhode Island and southeastern Mass, it's nothing up to about 6 inches of snow, with the most in the northwestern corner of Rhode Island. And the same basically holds true for far eastern Connecticut. I know we have a lot of visitors that come from and viewers that come from out that way. Car travel impact, not the worst that we've seen so far this winter, but there will be some impact tomorrow morning, maybe at the end of the morning commute. And then potentially again on Friday morning. We'll have to see how that wraparound moisture and snow works if it does work into Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts on Friday. School impact potential, yeah, it's not certainly in the low end, because there is the potential for some impact, at least a slow ride to school anyway, maybe on Thursday morning, maybe again on Friday morning. The Thursday evening commute, we're not expecting it to be bad. We expect the temperature to be above freezing and rain to be coming down at that point. Air travel impact, though, you may be wondering why it's so high. It's because of the scope of this storm affecting all the way down into Atlanta, Charlotte, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., New York City, lots of airports that people who are flying into or out of southern New England airports usually end up at. So that's why we have more of a high impact air travel scenario for as far as air travel goes, but not necessarily for Boston and for TF Green. Yeah, there'll be some snow and some sleet at the start of the storm, but it may just be residual effects, planes not able to get out of where they're coming from to be able to get to the southern New England airports. We'll continue to keep you updated on rightweather.com.